Yo, what up? It's Samaje back with another video, and today we about to be reacting to another WWE video by Tap Out Corner, and it's called WWE Top 10 Worst Worst Match Types. All right, but the thing that comes to my head when I see worst match types is the damn Punjabi prison. They only had them two times that I remember. That shit's horrible to me. But let's get into it. Let's see this top 10.
Royal Rumble, ladder matches, Hell in a Cell, TLC, these are all great wrestling match types. What we're looking at is the complete opposite. This is the top 10 dumbest and worst wrestling match types of all time.
I
Number
don't remember
10,
that.
King of the Mountain. For all the good matches TNA has had, they aren't the best when it comes to creating actual match types and stipulations. While King of the Mountain is an iconic match,
Wait, sidebar. It's not WWE. It's just wrestling in general. Sorry.
in TNA history, it's not really all that great. If you just call it a reverse ladder match, that basically explains how it works. King of the Mountain consists of 5 wrestlers and 1 championship, and whichever wrestler is the first to hang the belt on a hook above the ring is the winner. However, it's not that simple. Before a wrestler can hang the belt, they have to become eligible. How do you become eligible? You have to pin or submit an opponent. But on top of that, the wrestler who gets pinned or submits then has to go into a penalty box for 2 minutes. Once a wrestler is eligible, they can attempt to hang up the belt. Where do I begin with King of the Mountain? To start, the match is just unnecessarily complicated, with needing to become eligible, then having to remember who is eligible and who's not, who is in the penalty box and who isn't. It asks a lot from the fans. Sure, you can understand it, but then you spend so much time just trying to remember the rules that it makes it hard to enjoy the actual.
Oh my God. The way he explained this right now already sounds like the most dumbest, confusing thing. It's already racking my brain of how dumb this is. It makes me angry, low key. They had this back in the day. Thank God they don't do it no more.
Match. This might be a nitpick, but I also think the visual of a wrestler hanging the belt above the ring, then taking it off a few seconds later, is just odd. Now, King of the Mountain at its core is still a ladder match, so it's created a lot of cool moments, but I feel like TNA was trying so hard to be different that they forgot to make the match entertaining. Number 9, the Punjabi prison match. It hurts me to include this
Exactly. Exactly. I'm glad he put this on the list. So stupid.
match on the list because, I mean, just look at it. The Punjabi prison looks awesome. It's a cage inside of a cage. That's pretty sick. However, after you get past the visuals, the Punjabi prison match doesn't offer
Oh
much.
man.
The rules of the match are pretty simple. The first wrestler to escape both cages wins. However, to make it interesting, the first cage has 4 doors. When a wrestler gives a signal, the referee opens the door. That door stays open for 60 seconds, and after that, it's closed forever. You can still climb the first cage, but going through the door is much easier. The second cage, though, has no doors, which means you have to climb over it in order to escape. It's basically a steel cage match, but on steroids. So, what's the problem? Well, first, having both cages makes it hard for the live audience to see, so the crowd doesn't react to much. Additionally, because the cage is made of bamboo instead of steel, when a wrestler
From what I'm looking at, it looks like they had this 3 times. I think one with the Great Khali, I think another one with Big Show and Undertaker I see, and another one with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal back in like 2017. Three
hits it,
times.
it doesn't make much noise. On that topic, what are the best moments in a steel cage match or a Hell in a Cell? When wrestlers use the cage to create crazy, high-risk spots. None of that has ever happened in a Punjabi prison match. The only crazy bump I can think of is when Samir Singh went through the announcer's table, and he wasn't even in the dang match. Now, granted, this lack of OMG moments might have more to do with the wrestlers that participate in the match than the match itself, but therein lies another problem. Because it's the Punjabi prison match, someone from India or with Indian heritage has to compete in it, limiting the talent pool. But the biggest problem I have with the Punjabi prison match is that you really have to suspend your disbelief. There are so many times in these matches where the cage door is open and the opponent is down, but the wrestler still can't escape. Granted, ladder matches and even steel cage matches sometimes have this problem too, but at least with those matches, wrestlers are trying to climb up and are fighting gravity. In the Punjabi prison match, wrestlers can literally just crawl to escape the cage. The match is a cool idea and visual, but WWE should lock the Punjabi prison match away forever. Number 8, Kiss My Foot and Kiss My Ass. Not only are both these matches dumb, but what really earns them a spot on this list is just how disgusting they are. Most of the time, these are just regular matches with the loser.
Another brilliant idea from Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Hey, bro, I used to hate the Kiss My Ass Club, bro. Like that whole thing was just like pretty sus to me, man. You want another man to kiss your ass while you put your pants down in front of everybody in the ring? I never got that, bro. And now I never even heard of this match either, because I think it was before my time. But like,
Having to kiss their opponent's foot or backside as punishment. Now, I get the idea that having to kiss an undesirable body part is one of the most humiliating acts a person can do. But does anybody enjoy watching this? One of the worst was in 2011, when Michael Cole was forced to kiss Jerry Lawler's foot with barbecue sauce all over his face. Ugh, with all these
bro, what are y'all putting on some type of one of those scenes? I can't say it on here. But they were they trying to put on some weird like sus scene? Like that's just
Kiss
weird.
My Whatever matches, I feel like I'm watching someone's personal fetish, and considering who was in charge when all these happened, I
Yep.
wouldn't be surprised. Number 7, a stairs match. The fact that there's only ever been one stairs match in WWE is a telling sign. In 2014, WWE was trying to be cute and called TLC Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs. The titular stairs match was between Big Show and Eric Rowan, and just like it sounds, the only weapon they could use were steel stairs. Now, steel stairs usually make for a good little spot in any match, but basing an entire match around them, no sir. Tables and ladders break when a wrestler is slammed on them, and even chairs will bend. Steel stairs, on the other hand, do neither. Plus, there's not a ton you can do with stairs. I'll give Big Show and Rowan credit. They tried, but nothing they did got much of a reaction. The biggest problem overall is that steel steps just aren't that interesting of a weapon. It felt like WWE was just looking for something clever to market and didn't give much thought to whether or not a stairs match would actually be enjoyable to watch. Number 6. Any
That match looked hella boring. I don't even remember that match going down. Kind of like a blur. I think 2013. Well, no, 2012 to 2013 was like a blur for like undercard matches to me.
MMA matches. I know this is a little broad, but hear me out. Since the mid 90s, wrestling companies have been trying to incorporate mixed martial arts into their shows. This can be a good thing, like adding MMA fighters to their roster, but it can also be done very badly. Whether it be the Lion's Den matches during the Attitude Era, the Asylum match in WCW, or more recently, the MMA rules match at SummerSlam, when wrestling tries to mimic mixed martial arts, it usually never works out well. The fundamental problem is that they're trying to take real fights and make them scripted wrestling matches. More often than not, these matches look bad and are just not that interesting to watch. Heck, even when wrestlers have real fights, it's bad. This might be a personal thing, but when companies have MMA themed matches, it feels kind of like it breaks kayfabe. Like all those other matches are fake, but this one is gonna be real. I don't really see the business logic in these MMA themed matches either. The reason people watch wrestling is because it isn't mixed martial arts, it's wrestling. Rather than using it to their advantage, these MMA themed matches work against it and usually leads to some lackluster matches. Number 5, strip matches. I'm talking about tuxedo matches, evening gown matches, even bra and panties matches. Any match where the
Hold up. I'm not gonna lie. I sort of missed those matches, but like they were hella degrading to women. I get it. But like me and my ass, I probably missed that, man. When I was a kid, when you were a kid, that you really love seeing those all of these coming out with all the little strip matches. It was hella stupid, but like it was ladies, man.
objective is to strip your opponent of their clothes. There are usually two reasons for these types of matches existing. Either it's to give fans a chance to see women in skimpy clothes, or it's to have people who can't wrestle. Even if you get past that, these matches had very little substance and were often just boring. More often than not, any strip your opponent of their clothes match just boiled down to two people rolling around and tugging at each other's garments. This wasn't wrestling, nor was it entertaining. Number 4, electrified six sides of steel match. Wrestlers and wrestling fans have always been stereotyped as stupid. While I strongly disagree, the electrified six-sided steel match doesn't help fight that stigma. Every year, TNA hosted a pay-per-view called Lockdown that featured all steel cage matches. However, to mix it up, TNA would have different gimmicks. In 2007, one of those gimmicks was the electrified six sides of steel. The premise was simple. It was a regular steel cage match, except that there were 10,000 volts running through the steel. This is already kind of inaccurate. The voltage can't hurt you. It's the current of electricity, or amps, that actually causes the damage. But of course, TNA didn't share that. Whatever though, volts sound cooler and more dangerous. Here's the other thing though. Let's say you push your opponent into the electric steel. You're getting shocked too. Human bodies are great conductors, and no one in this match is wearing gloves. Now, I can get past the lack of scientific logic, but the match itself just wasn't believable, especially when wrestlers didn't react when they touched the cage. The commentators tried to explain that there were different levels of electrical current around the cage, but nobody was buying that. Plus, even when the wrestlers did react to the steel cage, the timing of the sound effects was off.
And he throws it right in again! Right in, and he just felt the electricity zapping!
Wrestling is inherently a bit silly, but the electrified six sides of steel was just too much, and thankfully, it was one and done.
Bro, this matchup sounds hella stupid. I don't even, bro. TNA, like he said earlier, TNA tried so hard to be too different. Some matches worked, some matches didn't work, bro. This was one of the matches, I guess, that didn't really work. Like, oh man, I used to watch TNA, but way back in the day, like 2015, when AJ Styles was still there.
This next match should have been one and done, and that's number 3, Fight for the Right. Also known as the Reverse Battle Royal, this match type just has so many problems. Okay, so 18 to 16 wrestlers start on the outside, and they have to get inside the ring. Once about half the wrestlers make it inside the ropes, the wrestlers on the outside are eliminated. The wrestlers in the ring then have a regular
Bro, yeah, like a point I just made a second ago, bro. Most of these matches feel like it's just TNA on here. Is it TNA or
Battle
is that
Royal.
WWE?
Once it's down to 2 wrestlers, the match then
Yeah,
turns
TNA.
into a one-on-one match. Then the winner of that match wins. Part 1. After all that, there's a tournament featuring all the wrestlers who competed in the normal Battle Royal. Then, the winner of that faces the winner of the first part, but also the order of the tournament is determined by when the wrestlers got eliminated during the Battle Royal. Oh, and did I forget that the winner of the final match also gets a title shot and did you see the problem? It's called Fight for the Right, but I have no idea what the rights are.
Head
Okay, let's
spinning.
start with the first part, the Reverse Battle Royal. It suffers from a similar problem as the Punjabi prison match, and that's that it ruins the illusion. There's multiple
Head
times where
spinning right
wrestlers
now.
could easily just slide in under the rope, but they don't. But the biggest problem is just how dang confusing it all is. You got to be really invested in paying close attention just to understand what's going on. Even if you do that, the Fight for the Right just isn't entertaining. The King of the Mountain match was complicated, but at least it was self-contained and still created some cool moments. The Fight for the Right took place over the course of 3 weeks. Like I said, it feels like TNA was so busy trying to be different, they forgot to be entertaining. Number 2, the Monster Truck Sumo match. Do you like wrestling matches without any of that annoying wrestling? Then the Monster Truck Sumo match is what you've been looking for. In 1995, The Giant, aka The Big Show, made his wrestling debut in WCW. He was instantly put into a rivalry with Hulk Hogan, and after months of attacks and feuding, the two finally got to face off at Halloween Havoc. However, before they locked up in the ring, Hogan and the Giant locked up on the roof. The two wrestlers drove monster trucks that were welded together in what was billed as the Monster Truck Sumo match. The goal was to push your opponent's truck outside the ring of traffic cones. The trucks were
Nah, I still get why CW went out of business. Yeah, that's another company that was like way before my time. But like from all these stories that I keep hearing about all these wrestling channels, they're way too believable, bro. Ugh, it sounds like too mind-boggling, stupid.
cool, and on paper, maybe it made sense, but in reality, the match was just a lot of pushing and pushing and pushing. Also, there's just one little small detail, I don't know how many people caught this, but what does this have to do with wrestling? And if all this wasn't bizarre enough, after Hogan won, he and the Giant fought on the edge of the building, leading to the world's largest athlete falling to his death. Sometimes I feel
Bro.
like WCW spent money just because they had it. Now, what could possibly be worse than this and all the other matches we've looked at? Well, feast your eyes on number 1, a spanking match. This match falls into the infamous on a pole match category. The stipulation of having an object
No
on a pole
way.
is infamous by itself. With some exceptions, I agree, because there's been some dumb stuff hung on poles, like Viagra, a turkey, a pinata.
Viagra. Vi Why the hell is Viagra on a pole? I can only think of one wrestler with that. Val Venus. Val Venus. Bro, what the fuck, bro? Alright, I don't know what the hell they were doing or thinking of back in the day, but Vince McMahon just was coming up with anything nowadays, man. I mean, back in the day, man.
With the chair shots. However, I single out the spanking match for one particular reason. Now, this isn't to be confused with a paddle on a pole match. Even though both are similar, the paddle on a pole match is one just like any other pole match. Grab the paddle and you're good to go. The spanking match, on the other hand, actually requires the participant to spank their opponent in order to win. And by watching wrestling or a fetish movie, at least with the bra and panties matches, I get what they were going for. But a spanking match is just dumb. What are the rules anyway? Do you have to use the paddle? Does a slap work? How much contact do you have to make with the cheeks in order for it to count as a spanking? Also, why are these the questions I'm asking when I'm watching a wrestling show?
Make with the cheeks?
Now, while this match is crazy, it wasn't nearly as bizarre as seeing a wrestling match on a moving truck. To watch that, hit the video on screen.
Oh man, hey, these are some crazy matchups. I'm still going for like the Punjabi match. It's just overall stupid to me, and the other one surprised me a lot. Like the other one surprised me a lot. Viagra hanging up on top of the pole. The poles matches are always dumb. Like unless you're like going for something like really good and attracting the audience eyes. I'm glad all that's been phased out when Vince McMahon left. But hey, if you guys like that video, man, like and subscribe. I'll see you in. Well, hold up. I like and subscribe if you want to see some more WWE videos, man. But I'll catch y'all later.
Fuck it, that ain't